Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Just picked up a Hannah Carzon book and I was flipping through and I found this page and I thought, it says bright summer night, so I thought that'd be perfect for this time of the year, although it's the first time we're having rain in about 2 or 3 weeks. But I want to do this page. And while I was flipping through to pick a page, I noticed this one. Now I remember that I shared this on Instagram and it was really popular. So I'm going to try and redo a similar background. It might not be in the same colours, but a sort of similar background because I absolutely adore it. And I haven't done anything like this in a while now, So what I'm trying to remember how I did it, because I'm pretty sure I didn't record that one. So I've just popped a bit of washi tape around the edges. I've got these adhesive clips and I want to pop these down the side just to keep the paper as flat as possible for drying, because I'm going to stop myself from using the heat gun, because if I use the heat gun when I've got that washi tape down, it will just melt like glue and then there's no point in it being there because it'll just simply come off. Now I have got, I know it says Arteza, I bought this as an empty palette and I put my own colours in here, and I do like using the colours that I've already pre-mixed to try and use the paint, but I am going to wet the whole palette. There's all sorts in here. There's Winsor & Newton Cotman, the professional ones, there's Daniel Smith, and then this little bunch here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are the only Sminker super granulating watercolours that I used, and I can't for the life of me remember what I used on that page, but the Daniel Smith ones, they blend out absolutely beautifully from what I remember. Again, it's been a while since I picked up this palette, so I'm just going to get the whole palette wet, and then some of these colours at the top as well. I'm not going to do the bottom ones because there's too many small ones. And then for the actual page itself, I probably should have got a bigger brush. Please don't mind my pyjamas. I'm filming this. It's quite late now. Well, it's quite late for me. 9:30. 9:30. So, it's a clean brush. You know, I've been using, I've got an expensive Billy Shawwell one, and then this one that was like a pack of 20, if not 30, for like £15 off Amazon. I mean, I can notice the difference. Which one would I pick? This one. But for the price, I'm really impressed with these. Nick Pro. It was my niece that recommended this brand to me, and I thought, well, I'll just use them with acrylic paint. But yeah, they work beautifully with watercolour. So I'll pre-wet them, and I'm going to pre-wet the whole of the page. I do need a slightly bigger brush. That one will do. So that is from that same Nick Pro brand. A couple of sprays and just evenly spread it out. Now with the trick with making sure that you've covered all the areas is I've got an overhead lamp just here, and if I tilt it I can actually see where I've put that water. Same goes as with paint as well. If you've got a lighter colour paint, you can see it going down a little bit better, so I can literally see any bits that I've missed because it's glistening. I just wanted to give this a go. I think that previous page, that's probably like 1 or 2 layers of paints, so I think I'll do the same thing. And if I start this now at 9:30, I managed to do it in, let's say, 10-15 minutes and let it dry for half an hour, I might be able to get the second layer on before I have to leave it overnight to dry. Now, do I want to stick? I think I want to stick with blues and the orange copper shades. So now that I've got all that blue already mixed up at the top, it's really silly of me if I don't use it. So if I just pick that up with the big brush and just start popping it on, I'm not overly worried about going over the lines or anything like that, because I plan on actually colouring this with Inktense pencils. Shocker, I know. So I do need more water at the bottom. It does dry out super quick. It's because my room is really, really hot at the minute. So now I've just got a nice flat layer of that. I'm going to switch over to the Billy Shorwell one. And I do know that this one is a really nice colour. If I remember, yes, that's the one I'm remembering. It's funny how things come back to you. So around the edges, these colours are going to mix together as well because I'm not being patient and letting the layers dry in between. But in saying that, I won't get the effect. Let me pull my sleeve up. I won't get the effect that I want because you want that paper to be wet so the paint all mixes in together. Sort of bleeds, but you will get, see how it's going a little bit muddy there? That's to be expected. So let's put some more water in there. And it was down here that was drying the quickest. So let's pop some of this. I don't know what colour this is because I never named this palette. I never bothered, unfortunately. I never kept the stickers, which was really silly of me, especially if I'm doing a tutorial and you want to know the colours. It's just an amber shade. That's the best I can do. So I want to keep it the lightest in the very centre. We'll start to pull that colour. I'm just using clean water just to pull it out a little bit. Doing this fairly quick. I don't know if you can tell because the paper is drying super duper quick. It's not watercolour paper, so it's going to really suck the paint up. So try my best to keep that centre clear of any of this amber colour. Let's fill all that in. And then we'll go in with this Sminker one. This is one of the super granulating watercolours. Now this is definitely more of a brown, but I'm hoping some of the different tones start to pop through. But I will let this dry for as long as I can. I mean, I've 25 minutes. I sound like I'm dead strict with my bedtime, but because my little girl doesn't sleep really well at all, if I don't go to bed early, I'm like a walking zombie the next day. And I do want to read in bed just for half an hour before I go to sleep. So some of these horrible edges here, all I'm going to do is clean water, go into the centre and let that colour bleed into that water. I hope that made sense. So looking at it on the camera now, I mean that is darker, it's just not picking it up. I think I need to pull it down just a little bit more to the top. So in with that amber shade again. I need to refill some of these actually. I'm hoping that the tubes are still good because it's been a long time since I've touched them. You know, just like that, here and there. Oh, I bloody love that shade. It's the shade of my fake tan when it goes on. I'm only joking, it's not that orange. It's a little bit orange, but not that orange. Oh, it's a lovely colour, that one. Maybe a little bit more here and there. Yeah, but don't worry about the line out in the background because it will dry a little bit lighter. And then in there with that Sminker again. Now, I'm not going to add any extra paint now yet. And let's be a bit patient and let it do its thing. But before it does, I'm going to get clean water again. I don't want it dripping, but here and there, and you can even do this with your water bottle. I wouldn't really recommend it because it's probably too much going down and you can't control it as well as you can with a brush, but that will give a good cauliflower effect as it starts to dry out. So yeah, I'm going to be patient now and then come back. And I was thinking blues. I could add some really dark navy blue there, But there's an absolutely gorgeous green here next to that amber colour, and I'm thinking that would go really nicely as well actually. And then finish it off in the very corners with black, straight up black. So yeah, I will see you when it's almost dry or usable, workable, when it's workable. You might have seen in that little clip me doing the next layer, and it is actually 2 days later. 2 days later, I've just not managed to come up here and spend some time in my room. But it is dry now. I'm getting there, slowly but surely. And yeah, I have plugged my heat gun in because I'm wondering if this is gonna rip the paper. Be very careful and pull away. Keep my fingers crossed that it doesn't rip it. By the looks, so far so good. I'm going to check the back of this page as well, because I've got a funny feeling that it's going to have gone through with the amount of paint. So it's dripped out a bit there. With the amount of paint that I've just used. And then I want to check the previous page as well and just have a look at each of them. And then what I'll do, I will record me doing the rest of this, because I think that might be quite interesting to see what it's going to be like going over with Inktense. Like say this bee here, you might not be able to, the camera probably doesn't want to pick it up, but just about there it's really dark, so it'll be interesting to see how the Inktense perform on that. Now let me check the back. Oh, I'm really surprised about that actually. But it is on Hannah Calzon's boots. They are really good, these. So it's not that one. Did it flip past them? No. I need to do another updated Hannah Calzone video because the amount of pages that I've done in these books is crazy. So it's not as vibrant. I think I've gone over the top with the darker colours around the edges. And yeah, that definitely. I think that was the same amber colour that I used. I'm not sure about the blues though. Maybe I did lighter layers. I can't remember. Such a long time ago. I mean, I like the effect, but I prefer that one. I definitely prefer that one. So I might give it another go on doing another page. But it'll be interesting to see how it turns out when it's actually coloured. Because I've coloured that. I've gone over with a layer of thin watercolour over the whole thing. On both of them. And then I've gone over with Prismacolor. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this will turn out now. But yeah, I do prefer the background of this, but I think I'm a little bit rusty when it comes to using watercolour paints. I mean, it's like riding a bike, isn't it? You don't forget, but just like certain techniques and stuff. So yeah, I'll record me doing the actual colouring this and talk to you about the process of that as I'm going on, because I'm just thinking that I'm going to pop a bit of ink tints like in the centre, it'll be fine, but around the darker areas, because it's watercolour, it's going to activate that paint that's underneath it. So I'm quite interested actually to see how that's going to work. Now the paper is really, really coarse now. See, that's really smooth. Maybe I just did one layer. I mean, it's not as smooth as that, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot smoother than this. So I'm a bit confused. Did I do a video on that? If I did, I'm going to have to check. I'm going to have to check. But yeah, I'll video the process of me doing this and tell you my thoughts. And practice again, because I do want to get back to doing it like the previous page. But I hope that you got some tips from this anyway. I keep saying in this video because I'm not videoing in ages. But yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.